Secret Sauce
สวัสดีครับผมเคนนักครินทร์และนี่คือ The Secret Sauce Podcast
What's your secret
สินค้าอุปโภคบริโภคนะครับถือว่าได้รับผลกระทบเชิงบวกนะครับจากเหตุการณ์โควิด -19 หลายคนก็คงจำภาพที่เราแห่กันไปที่ซูเปอร์มาร์เก็ตหรือไฮเปอร์มาร์เก็ตนะครับเพื่อกักตุนสินค้าแม้ว่าตอนนี้สถานการณ์จะดีขึ้นแล้วก็ตามแต่ทุกคนเห็นตรงกันครับว่า New Normal หรือว่าพฤติกรรมผู้บริโภคหลังจากนี้จะใส่ใจเรื่องความสะอาดมากขึ้นเพราะฉะนั้นสินค้าที่เกี่ยวข้องกับเรื่องความสะอาดไม่ว่าจะเป็นสบู่ไม่ว่าจะเป็นโฟมล้างหน้านะครับหรือว่าผงซักฟอกเองก็ตามทีตอนนี้ก็ได้รับผลบวกหรือความนิยมมากยิ่งขึ้นนะครับวันนี้นะครับผมมีโอกาสได้มาคุยกับคุณยูจิชิมิสึนะครับท่านเป็นคนญี่ปุ่นนะครับแล้วก็เป็นประธานกรรมการของบริษัทคาโออินดัสเทรียลประเทศไทยน่าสนใจครับว่าบริษัทญี่ปุ่นที่มาตั้งอยู่ในประเทศไทยหลาย10ปีหรือมีประวัติอันยาวนานกว่า133ปีreact นะครับหรือว่าปรับตัวอย่างไรกับเหตุการณ์โควิด -19 นี้รวมทั้งผมยังได้พูดคุยเรื่องวัฒนธรรมของคนญี่ปุ่นนะครับมีคำศัพท์หลายคำครับที่เป็นคำศัพท์ญี่ปุ่นที่ผมเชื่อว่าหลายคนฟังแล้วน่าจะเอาไปปรับใช้ได้โดยเฉพาะตัวคุณชิมิสึเองครับเป็นคนที่เป็นกันเองมากๆทำงานที่นี่ที่แรกและเป็นที่เดียวด้วยนะครับน่าสนใจครับว่าเราสามารถเรียนรู้อะไรได้บ้างหลังจากนี้กลยุทธ์ของคาโอไทยแลนด์จะเป็นอย่างไรและวัฒนธรรมของคนญี่ปุ่นมีอะไรที่เราน่านำไปปรับใช้กับตัวเองครับ Can you tell me about your background? When did you join KAO? You have been here around 30 years.
Right.
Yes, it's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. So I joined KAO. I mean, I'm from Japan, and my name is Yuji Shimizu. I'm from Yokohama, which is quite next to Tokyo, and that's my hometown. And I joined that in KAO 1986, I think.
Oh, 1986.
Right.
It's my birthday.
Already. And also that I think that KAO Thailand also that they started a business here in 1968 also.
Really?
So they are nearly same as my age actually. And then after doing the KAO that I mostly that spend my career in marketing.
Mm-hmm. So your first position is about marketing?
Actually, the very first one was I joined the sales.
Sales.
And then I spent there like 3 years. And then that actually the company sent me to the England to study.
Uh-huh.
And I spent there 2 years and then came back and then I did bit join that international HR department for another 2 years and then come to marketing. And during that moment that I was in charge of many kind of products. I think that's my kind of a basis of my career. What I learned from that marketing department. So I was in charge like dishwashing or detergent and also that sanitary napkins. That even that I developed a kind of called car care at that time.
Car care.
So automobile care product I developed at that time. So I spent a lot of time in marketing. And then after that I came to Thailand as a marketing. And then it was happened in 2005 until 2010. So that most of the people here still that they are working and then I quite enjoyed that period. It's a really good experience for me and I get to know the people in Thailand and I still love the Thailand. And then after that I went back to Japan and then I was in charge of some international business and then went to US about 6 years ago. And I spent there 4 years as a kind of a liaison officer in KAO USA, which was located in the Cincinnati, Ohio. And then that I moved to Thailand this time as CEO. So for me, that Thailand is kind of a second home. So I'm really that excited and glad to be back here.
Right. I think for Thai, Japan is second home too.
Thai
love Japan very much.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
have you ever think about resign from KAO? Because it's quite amazing that you stay here for a long time.
More than 30 years.
Yes. Why do you stay here for a long time? What do you like most?
I see. As I told you that even I stayed in Kao for more than 30 years, but I experienced many different type of department or job. I was in sales, I was in HR, I was in marketing, international business. So I mean, I experienced quite a lot within one company, but the company gave me a lot of experience in terms of my career. So I think that I'm not get bored. And I'm still enjoying working in Kao, so that's I think.
What thing you have enjoyed?
Well, basically, I like this category, like personal care or household products, and also that I can get quite closer to the consumers and what they think, and they are always changing. And in those kind of dynamics or changes, I can feel, I can experience, and every year that we have something new. And of course, that the society and the economy always is changing, but for our category also that we have a lot of changes, and then I really like to be involved in those changes in terms of the product development or in terms of marketing, products of the business management. I really enjoy and never get bored. So that's the reason I think.
Nice. Yeah. So can you tell me about business overview of Kao?
This year, that as you know, that due to this COVID-19 situation, that it's not how to say not same as the another year. So it's I think it's more like aligned with the market trend and our sales also. A little bit. Let me a little bit touch on that market.
Okay.
This year that we started as usual, and then January and maybe until February.
Right.
But the market suddenly, I mean, after this COVID-19 pandemic, market in March was suddenly jumped up. Yeah, like a big spike.
Wow.
Because at that time that everybody was how to say scared of the COVID-19,
right.
And then it's kind of a panic. So everybody rushed into the supermarket, and then they tried to buy daily necessities like cooking oil or toilet rolls or even eggs. And then some of the category that we have, like sanitary napkin or even some detergent, was also that they rushed to buy and build some stock at home, so that the market suddenly jumped up like in March. So as our companies too. And then after that, that was kind of a bounce back, so big spike, right. And then very big downtrend in April. And then in May, we are, let's see, halfway back to normal. But still we have kind of big negative trend in April and May.
Okay. So we can conclude that Kao have got positive or negative impact from COVID-19.
Okay, I would say it's not positive, but it's not very big negative yet.
Okay.
Maybe if you compare with the other industry like automobile or tourism, they suffered a lot. So probably the impact itself is less than them, but not the positive.
Right. Especially in Thailand, or you have got this friend around the world, the same friend, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that all other Kao affiliate company, including Japan, they basically that are in the same similar situation. But if you go to the US or Europe, that things getting even worse. Still that their sales is far from the normal. So in case of Thailand, I think that because of that the government and the Thai people's big dedication for against COVID-19, we are quite successful to fight back to the virus. So I think we can recover faster and better than other countries. So that's why.
How can you handle with COVID-19 outbreak? What are your strategies?
Okay. Well, it's not exactly about the strategy. That maybe that I can tell you some actions we took last a couple of months. So when we started this pandemic, at that time, surely that everybody quite scared, and I mean,
Sure, me too.
nobody knows what is going on.
Yeah, it's unknown.
Unknown. So at that time, that for us, the priority is about the safety.
Okay.
So how we can protect people, how we can support the safety of the people. So at that time, that of course that we started to promote our sanitary or hygiene products like Haita or Magic Green. So we try to promote more for the use of the people's cleanliness or hygiene at home. And that one thing. And another thing is that we also that focus on that provide correct information about the hygiene. Because during that time that there's so many rumors or even fake information about how to treat with virus. So as a company like us, that I think we should be committed to provide correct information for their daily care. So that at that time that we started to more proactively give the information to the public, like. Very simple one is that how to correctly wash your hands.
Okay. What channel did you use?
So at that time that of course that we start the information through our shop fronts of the customers. That's one thing. Another thing is that we're using our website or surely that Facebook or YouTube or any other SNS media we also use. And then that we try to be scientific. Everything have to be kind of logical, not like kind of a rumor type of thing. So how to eliminate virus from your hand, or how to clean your house with Haita, for example, or even how to wash the clothes mask in laundry. I mean, those type of information, which that the Kao we have in Japan, in Thailand. So we proactively provide those information to the public. That was the kind of a strategy at the pandemic during period. And then probably that after pandemic, the situation may be different. Right. So the priority move to recovery. So right now that we are focused more on that the recovery of especially for those people who suffered from this lockdown or suffered from the less income or somebody who lost a job.
Right.
So how we can support them is another big topic, step action that we are going to take.
Right.
And then this new CSR activity also is all about this supporting Thai people. So that's slightly changing.
Right. So can you explain more about your CSR? How can you support Thai?
Okay. So of course that we've been here. I mean, Kao is in Thailand more than 50 years. So we've been doing this CSR activities for a long time already. And then Kao Thailand also that we focus more on that about the health and cleanliness. So that the past year CSR activities we focus more on like health. For example, that about 10 years ago, I think that when I was in the marketing department, that we started the sister to sister activity by Laurier. Laurier is a sanitary napkin. So we provide a kind of education and entertainment program to young girls who are becoming a real lady. So we visit the schools and then we give them some education, correct information, and even that we provide some sampling. And then being a lady is how wonderful thing. I mean, those kind of things that we started as a kind of one of the CSR program, and we keep doing this. And another example is about the Haita. Haita is a bleach, but it's quite effective to kill virus or bacteria. So that the another program is called the Haita Clean Community. So actually, we started this in 2011. As you remember that that year that we had a big flood in Thailand,
Right.
and then that period that Kao donated or supported a lot of Haita to the community, and then since then that we keep doing this in collaboration with the Department of Environment, and also that Bangkok Metropolitan Administration. So we provide Haita to clean up the many public areas, and then to promote more hygiene community. So those activities we've been doing, and especially this year under this COVID-19 situation, as I told that. So this time we'd like to go more directly to support those people, especially for suffered from this lockdown. So this time that our theme or catch copy for the new CSR activities that the Ka'o stand by Thais. So we always stand by the Thai people and then try to support. So that's the kind of a big name for this CSR activity this year. So we more focus on that. How can I say? One message that we are getting better in terms of the fight against the COVID, but still we have to keep high alert or high conscious about the preventing
Right. Don't let the guard down.
Right. So that's the message that don't let the guard down. In Pasatai, guard ya tok. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean that's the more direct CSR activities we'd like to focus this year, and then we'd like to do it in a nationwide with more special price for our products throughout the year. This is much bigger in scale than past years.
Right. I heard that you launched campaign called "Don't Let Guard Down" campaign, and you have a lot of endorsers, a lot of presenters.
That's right.
Right. Can you tell us more about this campaign?
So of course that we are using some celebrities that are using for our TV commercials, and then with support of them, and also that we have so many that SNS channels, and then try to promote this to be more nationwide kind of movement. I think it's really a good message for that because that nowadays that it's getting back to normal, and then people start to forget about this. So how we can keep this high attention, because that I'm pretty sure that we may have some second wave, for example. Maybe not coming in Thailand, but for other countries that when they come to the winter time, that surely that it's going to happen again. So that may draw the people's attention in Thailand as well. So I think that it's quite good, and I really hope that this CSR can be accepted from the many Thai people as well.
Right. So what is your plan to stay alive, stay alert all the time, because it's very uncertainty, as you said.
Right.
So what is your, strategies or your philosophy, your policy to handle with this uncertainty?
Okay. Because that, honestly speaking, that nobody knows what's going to happen next.
Right.
But what we can do is that how we can well prepare for that. To do that, the important thing is that how we can get the speed in our organization. Speed. So that the speed to sense the new changes in the market, speed to adapt ourselves in a quickly way. Those types of speed is really necessary and important right now, I think. Otherwise, that if we just stay the same place and keep doing the same thing as last year, we never win. We never catch up with the changes in the market.
Right.
So how we can get those speed in the organization is the kind of big challenge for a company. But I think that we are ready for do that. So how we can shorten our make decision, how we can shorten our new trial, I mean, those kind of new culture, I'd like to bring this into our organization. Maybe this is something that we can take this crisis, how we can turn it into opportunity. So I think it's a good timing or good reason for us to more proactively change our organization to be more speedy management.
How can we move more speedy? How can you tell us some secrets?
Not yet achieved. So surely that it's about the culture change.
Culture change.
So it takes some time. But taking this as a kind of a new opportunity that I'd like to proactively promote those changes within our organization. So maybe that we can start, I mean, I can start those changes from myself. So usually that I take some like 2 weeks to make one decision. Maybe I should shorten that in a more quick decision way. And those things I can start from myself.
So you are on the process of
Right.
increased speed.
Right.
Right. You mentioned about culture, and I think this is very important and one of the key success. Can you tell us about your corporate culture?
Okay.
I searched in Google and I found some words
Okay.
very interesting in your website.
So Kao is quite committed to the quality of the products. And then we call it Yoki Monozukuri.
Yoki Monsu.
Right. It's namely that the meaning is that to develop really good products for consumer. Good products, I mean, we can define many different ways, but it have to be quite, how to say, functionally or emotionally have clear differentiation. And also that quite scientific background it should have. And then those who used our product have really have some happy or smile. I mean, those our kind of a basic philosophy. So to do that, the Kao spent a lot of money for the R&D and the marketing, and then also that from that reason that I would say it takes a little bit long time to develop new products. So I mean that's pros and cons. Again, and in terms of speed, surely that you know, if you don't care about the quality and it's just same as the competitors' products, I mean, we can do that. We can do it in a speed way, but it's not our way. So how the differentiation is well perceived with the consumer, I mean, that checks quite a lot. So we spent a lot of marketing research as well. I mean, those are the things that we have in this culture in Kao. And that's a good part, and that we have to keep it. But again, that under this situation, speed is more necessary. So how do we, combine the balance between organizational speed and also that our commitment to the quality of the products? That's the next challenge for Kao, and I think that that's the way that we can improve or transform ourselves to be better company.
Right.
So I think I'm very positive on this. We can utilize this challenge to be the new opportunity.
Right. Consumer behavior are changing very rapidly, very fast.
Right.
And we have to stay with them, this changing of customer.
Right.
And I think COVID-19 outbreak is one of the key factors that change consumer behavior. So what is your view about the next normal or the new normal of consumer behavior? We talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
What is your view?
Yeah. Surely that now that everybody talking about new normal.
Right.
And one of the things that is already quite obvious is that I mean, people more go to online. Consumers' purchasing behavior is going to change for sure. And that's what everybody also think.
Right.
So that the point is that how soon it's going to happen. Still, that the market for e-commerce, for example, is relatively small compared to China or other countries. But of course, that it's boost up soon, I believe. But how soon and how Kao can be prepared for that?
Right.
I mean, that's the next issue. But for sure that online is the kind of a new platform for us, well, not just for manufacturer, for the retailers as well. So that's a kind of a new challenge and a new opportunity for everybody.
How do you prepare for this change? Because I think Thais tend to adopt to online very much.
Right.
And I think it's quite different from Japan.
Right.
And I see that a lot of change in Thai. And some say to me that it's from Nielsen research said to me that e-commerce is quite booming, right? But e-commerce for consumer product, especially in your product, is very, very low. How do you prepare about this?
Yeah. Some of the category we have quite nice fit with e-commerce, for example. The one good example is the Marys, the baby diaper.
Baby diaper.
Because that already the contribution of the e-commerce within our diaper business is, I think it's more than 10%. Because it's quite big and bulky. And also that how to say that the mothers and moms, they are quite loyal to the one brand, because that's the ones they use and they think it's okay, they keep using it. So that and also they use a lot of diaper every day, changing. So it's quite good match with online. So the mothers, they don't need to go to the supermarket to buy the big pack of detergent all the time. They ask just buy online and deliver the diaper. I mean, so that's one example of the very good match with e-commerce business. But if you talk about let's see the detergent, for example, that's another example. So it's more kind of daily necessity type of products. And you can buy anywhere in the convenience store, and then so relatively it's not less matching with the e-commerce. But anyway, it's also changing, and also that we have to, or even that initiate those changes. How do we fit more to those new e-commerce platform? I mean, that's every brand management, every brand marketing is now trying to thinking. So. That's another challenge for us.
Do you want to build your own platform, your own?
Yeah, that's part of. Still don't have it, but surely that it's one of the plan in the future. Yeah.
What about distribution? I think one of the key factors that separate who win or lose is about distribution, about availability, right? And I think people in Thai want to shop around their neighborhood, right? They don't want to commute and face very bad traffic. And what is your view about this? What is your strategy to engage them?
Those things are changing. So convenience store or small size supermarket is becoming more important for everybody. And then online also coming, so that the e-commerce and the small formats. I mean, how do they big supermarket or hypermarket are doing? It's a next challenge for them. But having said that, I don't think that everybody just moved to e-commerce everything. We still need a kind of physical stores, because that when we buy something, that we have to check many things. We want to touch, we want to smell, we want to feel. I mean, those experience we need. So in that sense, that the supermarkets or hypermarkets, they also have a role to play. how they can provide attractive experience to the shoppers. I mean, I think that's the way they should go for the future, especially that if compared with the e-commerce business.
You believe that brick and mortar never die?
Yeah, never die. I mean, some may die, but they can survive. And also, they are, going to that more omni-channel strategy. They themselves develop their own online. Also, that while they are providing an experience, they try to, cover the shoppers come to their stores. And also, they started some delivery service. From those omni-channel strategy that of course they are going to survive, and then in that sense that they are still our main distribution channel, and then they will be our main for a while.
Okay, very clear.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think one of the key trends is around localization. You have to localize with any country that you set up. What about your localized strategy in Thailand? Okay. And I found some words in your website. It's called Genba.
Oh, Genba. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about this?
Okay. Thanks for asking that question. Actually, that I have a lot of things to tell about this, because one good example that is that when I was in the marketing like 10, 15 years ago, that basically at that time that of course at that time we had also that products that we developed just for Thailand. But another thing is that at that time that we basically bring the products in Japan and import to Thailand and then just sell. But 10 years ago that we tried a new detergent called Attack Easy, which is that we spent like 2 years for the investigation and the market research in upcountry and basically hand washing users. And then I think that the R&D team, they visited more than 200 houses and then to actually visit. That we call it Genba. Genba in Japanese means that actual place. Actual place. So visit Genba, visit actual place. Actual place, actually something is happening. And then we visit there and see and feel and touch. Those things is very important in Kao. So don't just stay in the office. Don't make decision in a meeting room. Everybody should visit Genba, the actual place, and
including you,
including myself. So Genba can be anywhere. Those that somebody's home or supermarkets or many places. But the important thing is that you have to see and feel by yourself, and that we think the most important kind of valuable information or value. So that's part of the our localization strategy. So we really respect those Genba. So and then how that the real Thai people think and what their issue right now, what they want to change. Those things we can get from Genba, and then we reflect that into our product development. Those that I think one good example of the localization. So Attack Easy is one kind of classical example, success story for Kao Thailand. And then we develop in that way, and then it's quite unique product, and it's just for Thailand, and quite successful so far. So that kind of localization is really that kind of core of Kao's value. Without that Genba philosophy, Kao cannot be Kao. So that's what really insist and to keep for the future.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. So yeah. But localization have some different point. Like if you're talking about the supply side, that during the COVID-19 situation, that we had some issues with the global procurement. Some raw material because of the lockdown.
It's a supply chain shock.
Right, because of the lockdown, that some key raw materials we cannot import from China, from Malaysia, or from Europe. So I mean that may make us think over again what is the best, global sourcing strategy, global SCM strategy, and then now that we also revising our global SCM strategy. In other words, that we more go for local.
Oh, really? Okay.
Local supplier, local sourcing.
All right.
Because we potentially have, those global procurement risk. So this COVID-19 things that makes us revise our global strategy in terms of supply chain.
That means in the future.
In the future.
The product of cow in Thailand maybe come from here.
All come from Thailand.
Thailand.
Supply.
Oh. Can we do that? Only in Thailand.
I'm not sure. That if we can do that, that's one good example of
And you will use the same policy in any country around the world.
Yeah, that's what they are thinking in headquarters.
Very big shift, I think.
Right. So in the past 10 years, that the global sourcing is kind of very hot topics.
Right.
Global SCM. So many companies and everybody go to China and then make everything in China, but now we know that there's a risk. So how we can make good balance between global and local? That's the next big discussion.
Right.
For not only for Kao, but for any company.
Right, I agree with that. Do you have factory in Thailand?
Yes, we do. In Chonburi. Yeah.
I talk a lot to Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Industry. They say they want to invite Japanese investors to invest in Thailand, but I'm not sure that how cute we are. If you talk about that, production side, Thailand is still very much attractive for any foreign companies. We have very high skilled workers and education, and also very good infrastructure. So it's still quite attractive. Okay.
And
glad to hear that.
I cannot say that we're going to have second factory in the near future, but surely that if time comes, that's the way we go, for sure.
And what is your criteria to invest in one? About cost, about flexibility, or anything else?
Of course, the cost and infrastructure is one thing, but the most important thing is that our business plan for the future. Surely. I would say that, not like that 10, 20 years ago, that, our growth rate, Thai economy also, that is not growing like 10% every year.
Right.
So it's slowing down. So as Kao sales also. So how we can draw the, next aggressive business plan for the future. That's the most important part of the decision making of the new investment to the second factory, for example. So again, I would say it's when time comes, surely that's the way we go.
Okay, when time comes.
Yeah.
Right. Can you share us some Japanese way of work? I think it's very interesting. And
Japanese way of work.
Yeah. I heard a lot about something called Kaizen, right? Kaizen, or something else. I'm not sure. What is unique way of work that you think is very good, and how can we adapt, or how can we learn from your Japanese way of work?
I see. I mean, because I'm a Japanese and I'm working for Japanese companies for 30 years, so I'm not sure that I can be the right person to tell the difference. But what I can say is that the integrity or commitment to the company variable policy or something. That's one thing that I think that I cannot say that any Japanese is like that, but as long as that the people I know in Kao, they are pretty much committed to those quality and also the integrity. Because at the Kao, I would say that they are always rewarded by some authority about the most ethical company in the world for more than 10 years. Ethical means that there are many meaning for that, but and the most important part is the integrity. So do the right things in a right way. Don't cheat others. Don't just do some gimmick things, but do the right thing in the right way. I'm not sure that again that about this ever-changing environment. Are we competitive enough or not? But we cannot change this culture as a Japanese culture that we stay in a right path and in a right way, and then we respect the integrity. I mean, that's what I can say.
Okay, so let me ask about another point of view of this question. What kind of people that Kao want? What attribute that you want from your people?
How can I say? Kao. First of all, that every time that any newcomer come to Kao, that first things I would say is that please love Kao first. I need your love to the company. If you don't love, I mean, you cannot, let's say, fully, dedicate and fully utilize your ability, capability. If you have love based on your any activities, that works. So, as a company that I would like to be the company that who loved by you, for example. I mean, that's the way that I'm always thinking how that the people can more love Kao. I mean, that type of message I always talk to the people, and then that kind of person we really need.
Right. What about millennials or young generation? They change their job very fast.
Right.
Do you frustrate about this, or do you think about? Or you think that is just culture shift?
Yeah, I mean, it's again that as a company also we have to adapt to those changes, and we have to transform ourselves. So in that way that especially that the millennials that their lifestyle, their way of doing things, their way of thinking is quite different from my generation at least. But honestly speaking, that I'd like the Kao to be the company loved by millennials as well. It doesn't mean that we just accept their demands or needs. I mean, Kao is Kao, but just some kind of variables, never changing goodwill for the company, and that things can work for my generation and the new generation too. So I still believe that I mean, they are not totally different type of people. I mean, they are also that same human being, and we share some common value. So we focus more on this common part rather than just focus on the difference. And then of course that lifestyle and the working style gonna change, but I still believe that there's a kind of common good value, and we can share that with any generation. So I think that's
the reason
my
I have to ask this question before, because if compare Kao to human, he will be a grandfather because his age is around 133 years.
Yeah,
right?
right.
So how can you staying adaptive and keep innovate and attract the young talents to your company? How very old corporate can adapt anytime?
So probably it comes to the very first topics we talked that how we can adapt the changes around us. So keeping one company 130 years, I think it's quite amazing thing.
Right.
I mean, not so many companies have history of more than 100 years.
Right.
So there must be some good value for that. But those long history company, I believe that they also that try to adapt the new change all the time. Kao also that want to adapt to those changes. Not always we are on a top runner. I wouldn't say we are top runner, but we also that try to change, and also that we really appreciate those changes. So I think in that way that I think we can survive until 150 or 200 years. I hope.
I hope so. So what are your big threats, major challenges in the future of Kao or yourself?
Oh, for myself?
And also Kao.
Okay. The challenges for Kao. Of course, under current situation, that if we just talking about that this year or next year, of course that the recession in world economy is going to be a big threat, for sure. But in some way, we're gonna overcome, I'm sure. In that sense, that we have to again that change ourselves is one thing. Maybe that the biggest challenge for Kao is that as a category that we are not the kind of advanced kind of digital type of business yet. But how we adapt those kind of digitalization into our company, and then in that sense, how we can go for that direction. I mean, that's going to be the risk, and that's going to be the opportunity for us. So if you're talking about the threat, those changes in digitalization or changes in new generation, how do we can adapt quickly? Again, speed is a key, but it's an opportunity and also the risk. So that's always two dimensions of the new things. So we are really that I'd say committed to challenge those new things.
Right. What about goals? What are your long-term goals?
As Kao Thailand, that is that my personal goal or Kao Thailand?
Your personal goal.
My personal goal. Wow. Because I want to stay in Thailand as long as possible, and also that I really like the Thai people, and working with them is really is always encouraging me, and it's always happy working with them. So as long as I want to stay, and also I'd like to contribute to them, not for our employee but to the Thai people as well. I mean Thai consumers as well. So again, this is Thailand is my second home. So how can I mean, as one individual that can contribute in some way in return is my next goal as a personal, as an individual. And in case of Kao Thailand, I really want to change this company to be more solution provider for any social issues in Thailand. So environmental issues are not one thing,
right,
or any kind of social issues. How Kao can provide a solution for those issues. I mean, that's the way I want to be in 5-10 years. Not just talking about personal care or detergent.
You want to expand.
It's more not expanding the category. Maybe stay in, but we still can do something for the new social issues, for environmental issues. How we change our product package to be more sustainable. I mean, that's even the big challenge for us. But that's the way we need to change for the better sustainable society for future.
Why do you want to focus on sustainability and environment? How does it important to you or to Kao?
Because one thing is it's about the environment, for example, and it's not just a Kao issue. It's everybody's issue.
It's a global issue.
It's everybody's planet. So we share this issue, and then as one company, that how we can contribute, even it's a small contribution, but how we can do that. I mean, that's very important mission for our company, I believe. And still that environmental things is not have a kind of big movement yet. I mean, in Asia, I would say. But surely that Thailand can be the kind of top runner for this issue. And then I think that Thai people are pretty serious about this issue.
Right.
And then you can just change. Let's say from this month that no plastic bag from the stores. I mean, it never happened in Japan, but it happened in Thailand. I mean, those dynamics you have. So I think that Thailand can be kind of top runner in terms of this kind of environmental or sustainable issue. And then Kao Thailand would like to support those dynamics, those changes also. So,
thank you. The last question.
Yeah.
What have you learned from COVID-19 pandemic? Because your life is also changed. You have to work from home. You have to wear mask. What have you learned?
At first, that I couldn't imagine that this small invisible things like virus could completely change our life. I mean, I just couldn't imagine that, but it's happened, and it's happened anytime. And then maybe we have next new crisis in the future. So every time I face this type of crisis, that it's good. How to say? It's not an opportunity, but it give us some chance to think about why Kao is here, what Kao exists for, how we can support those people suffer from those crises. I mean, it's a good opportunity for us to think of what was the origin of ourselves. Why Kao came to Thailand and then doing business 50 years. What we can do for the people in Thailand. I mean, those crises is a good lesson. I mean, they provide a good lesson for us. One good example is that in 2011, when we had a big, massive earthquake in Japan with a tsunami, many people died. And at that time, what they think is that why I'm here, and what I can do for them, why I exist here. So I mean, that kind of big incident, it's big accident. Things can think everybody think it over again. Why I'm here? Who am I? What I can support? What I can help others? I mean, that's the things I learned again with this COVID-19 situation. So in that way, that I really want to support for that people in Thailand and people in all over the world.
So this is your answer. Why Kao exists here?
Yeah, that's
support.
Right. That's the answer. Why Kao is here, and 50 years and then it's because that there are some many loyal users, customers of Kao, and they still quite love Kao. They give us support, give us trust, and I have to reward or return back in some way for those people. So that's why Kao exists here, and that's who we are, and that's what we would like to do next. So that's it.
You really inspire me. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
บอกเลยเป็นห่วงนะไม่อยากให้กาดเธอตกใส่แมสด้วยนะไม่อยากให้กาดเธอตกล้างมือบ่อยๆนะไม่อยากให้กาดเธอตกเรื่องความสะอาดไม่อยากให้กาดเธอตกเว้นระยะด้วยนะไม่อยากให้กาดเธอตกกลับถึงบ้านรีบอาบน้ำไม่อยากให้กาดเธอตกซักชุดที่ใส่แล้วให้สะอาดไม่อยากให้กาดเธอตกปัดกวาดเช็ดถูบ้านให้สะอาดไม่อยากให้กาดเธอตก
เธอ